couple of small issues. I've closed everything unnecessary, so hopefully it stops. It does seem to be very small spikes that come and go, but if it happens again, we will pause and figure something out. Okay, so what's going on in this game so far, Creighton? We do have a push coming right now from PiLiPiLi. MCanning has a couple more workers, even army supply, and both players seem to be playing Stargate here.
Yeah, absolutely. PiLiPiLi's got that first Oracle down very quickly. A bit of a premature Trobe transfer, but luckily there's a shield battery here, and I think MCanning's going to be just fine. And since he's gotten the later Stargate Grant, he's been able to get that Phoenix out a little bit more quickly. That's going to allow him to defend fairly well. You know, it's one of those weird sort of things in StarCraft where, counter to what you would think logically, the player who gets the second Stargate down usually has a bit of a strategic advantage, as they can shift into Phoenix just a slight bit faster.
Yeah, we do see PiLiPiLi. He is going to go straight into Blink here. He's not going to commit overly to the Stargate. Guys, I am looking at the issues in the background here. I have no idea why it's doing this. It's very strange. My bitrate's going from 10,000 to 0 to 10,000. And it's just seemingly at very random times. But we can hope it cleans up here very, very soon. It's I blame my trip over to America for this. It didn't happen at all in Europe. Brexit means Brexit.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And if we learned anything from Brexit, it's that America's internet is worse than we thought. I guess I can't really vouch for that. I've got great internet here, luckily. Nice proxy, though, from PiLiPiLi coming out. This is going to be our very first proxy Protoss building of possibly all of DreamHack, Grant. We were just talking earlier. It's been a long time since we've seen some cheese. We saw a bit of Terran cheese earlier today with Braddock, but Protoss cheese and proxy buildings, so far, not super busy.
Nice micro there from MCanning, actually. He was able to take out both Oracles for just one Phoenix, but he can't now let that fall apart and lose one of these. Blink is not done, so he will save that Phoenix, but some unnecessary hits there. As you said, we do have that proxy down to the south side, waiting, just sort of biding time here, and there we go. That gateway going to go down to really add on to some aggression. We do have a third Nexus as well from PiLiPiLi, so it's not going to be overly committed, but it does give that warp-ins to pressure the third, either with Zealot run-bys or with a big committed attack later on. MCanning getting his +1. That is going to be the first there. He's adding a Dark Shrine because that's what MCanning does. And starting to add on a bunch of gateways as well to go alongside his Blink. But so far, the game looking pretty close. MCanning does have that worker lead and an upgrade lead. He's not going to have as many gateways, so it could be a little bit tricky defending if he doesn't get a few more in pretty soon. There's 5 coming down right now from PiLiPiLi, Creighton.
Yeah, PiLiPiLi setting up for a really strong timing attack that MCanning simply hasn't spotted yet, Grant. If you check the vision of MCanning, you'll see he does not know about this forward proxy gateway yet, which is going to be super duper ultra extra annoying because, of course, the attack from PiLiPiLi can easily reinforce from the north side. The way that Lightshade's set up, it's again sort of one of those fork maps where you've got 4 exits from the natural. That's why they call it a fork map, exactly. And you're going to be able to get into the natural slightly easier from the 3 o'clock base here, and then reinforce from the forward gateway, of course, with the fast warp-ins down into the third base as well. So it's very possible PiLiPiLi can hit from 2 directions at once, or just reinforce from back here and continue to pressure this third base from MCanning. Either way, it's a contain with an expand behind it.
Now, Creighton, there's one thing PiLiPiLi doesn't have, and it's a robo. And there's one thing that has just completed here for Mr. MCanning, and that would be a Dark Shrine. So there's a possibility MCanning, if he can get across the map, may be able to get a big amount of damage done. He is slow warping in at the north side, and those DTs will start making their way across, but he has lost massive amounts at home, so he needs to do huge damage and defend his natural, as well as ravage the third base.
Yeah, this is a really tough spot right now for PiLiPiLi. It looks like he's ultimately in the lead. Oh, he's doing so well. And eventually, of course, these Stalkers will pick off the rest of the army of MCanning. Unfortunately, of course, as you said, those DTs going to do an awful lot. No robo. He's got to hope. PiLiPiLi's got to hope that his oracles can find enough revelations to get it done. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any oracles either. Just rebuilding 1 now.
Yeah, no, the problem is going to be, though, for MCanning. Sure, he's slowly whittling away. He's going to find huge damage, but he has taken so much of his own. The third base is going to be evacuated. Both players have really just evacuated to their main, but PiLiPiLi has saved his probes. He has a 10-worker advantage, and MCanning is only going to lose more. The DTs are slowly trying to swipe away to do everything they can against these Stalkers, but, I mean, it's a very, very difficult hold here for MCanning.
First DT has been revelated. It will go down in the main base. You can still hear those swippity-swipities of a second DT somewhere on the map. There it is, coming back into the third for MCanning. But as you said, 30 probes going down. DTs now on the defense for MCanning. That's never where you want DTs to be.
No, and the Robo now for PiLiPiLi getting closer to completing. More workers continue to fall here from MCanning. Here's a 17 worker deficit, and his surprise factor is gone. Cannon's coming down as well, meaning that this is just going to be very, very frustrating. MCanning just needs every swipe he can get on these probes. It's nice to get them, but look at the supply. I think MCanning might be in a whole world of trouble here. He doesn't have anywhere near enough probes to saturate his bases. His army supply is pitiful, trying desperately to get a few more, but even Observer's taking up a good chunk of it. And the only thing he has going for him right now is the upgrade. Singular.
Yeah. Upgrade singular indeed, Grant. You can see, of course, that it's +1 to +0 right now, but PiLiPiLi doesn't necessarily need an upgrade when he's twice as far ahead in army supply as his opponent. Going to focus fire down the shield battery first and foremost, and then aggressively blunk onto those probes to make sure that as few as possible get away. Look at that great target fire from PiLiPiLi, focusing down the probes evenly so that he can get them all on the second shots. Gorgeously done.
Yeah, the DT in the back here still providing a lot of damage, and of course the Oracles are not here to drop a Revelate, so it is still doing a good job at trading in terms of army. But eventually this will run out. This will stop an Observer here and say goodbye to my little friend as it does fall down. MCanning is desperately trying to probe up, but PiLiPiLi has been rebuilding probes himself, and the armies once again are not particularly even, because the Observer going down means MCanning will be able to warp in a couple of DTs to defend, but it's not going to be enough. He knows it, and GG. Genesis Gaming's PiLiPiLi takes game one.
Yeah, not enough on that DT thing there. A bit of a bad read by MCanning. I think maybe a DT's out of desperation, an attempt to be kind of cute and cheeky, but PiLiPiLi winning with just a really solid timing push. Yes, the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game were slowed down because MCanning went for DTs, but there simply wasn't enough behind that for him to do anything. So really well played there by PiLiPiLi. A good timing, and I really love that forward gateway at the bottom side. Gives you all sorts of really interesting strategic opportunities with how you're going to engage.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, Creighton. It really did end up working out very well. I like what MCanning did. He just got caught in an anti-timing, so to speak, where his DTs, if there was 30 seconds more, DTs would have done damage. He would have realized that there was no Observer and had some at home as well. But didn't work out. Hindsight's 2020. Luckily, this is a best of 3, so you MCan fans will get to see on Romanticide if MCanning can bring it back to a map 3. And even if he doesn't, we will be following him immediately after this into a second series.
That's right. The B stream got to choose some of our games today, and Grant had the absolute genius to grab not only MCanning versus PiLiPiLi to start things off, but then MCanning versus Pure Legacy for game number 2, which ought to be also tons of fun. Really jazzed. For those of you asking in the chat, there are 4 streams going on right now for the DreamHack North America Day 1. There's ESL_SC2, ESL_SC2B, which is where you are, and then of course ESL_SC2C, where I believe we have the Cranky Ducklings team covering some of the action there, and then Alpha X gets to cast on their own channel, and they're covering for our D stream today. Exciting stuff. But we've got PiLiPiLi, MCanning, followed by MCanning versus Pure Legacy. Our 3rd series, Massa Scarlet, and our 4th series, Scarlet versus Epic.
Yeah, some really, really exciting ones. I wanted to get some Protoss, some Terran, and some Zerg in, so did the best I could there. We will, of course, have some mirror matchups, as this Group A is lots and lots of Protoss, a couple of Terrans, no Zergs. Group B, a little bit more balanced here. It does seem to look, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun here. Definitely. As we said, 4 streams are going on. I apologize again for any small issues. Coco's in chat. Hi, Coco. I like Coco. Coco's one of the best streamers ever. I shouldn't be saying this. I'm meant to be professional, but follow Coco. Okay, we'll be getting into map 2 very, very soon. PiLiPiLi just asking for a small break. And, I mean, that was NA PvP, right? There were proxies, there were DTs, there was everything funky going on.
Oh, yeah.
You all right?
Grant?
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an NA PvP. Dark Templars and proxies both. Put yourself in PiLiPiLi's shoes, Grant. You're ahead 1 game against MCanning. Do you think you play a more standard game this time? Play defensively, wait for the match to come to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you have a map lead, you can go 2 ways, right? You can play safe, try and execute better and take a late game, or you can throw everything you've got and go for that quick, cheesy win to close the series out. I've kind of always been a fan of, in a best of 3, do something wild every time. keep your opponents off guard. But of course, we don't know what these guys have been practicing. I've watched a lot of MCanning stream. I've watched a lot of his practice, and he's been trying to avoid PvPs on stream. I've seen his late game, and once MCanning gets disruptors, I mean, that's what he's known for, right? He's one of the kings of that build, or of that unit even. But I mean, Romanticide, interesting map, very, very wide, lots of room to hide stuff, lots of very difficult to scout things, especially if it's in some of the open spaces. So let's hop in and see how this game pans. Okay.
And spawning. In the top left-hand side, in the blue, representing nobody. He is the Americas, MCanning.
And his opponent in the bottom right, representing Genesis Gaming. Yes, the red Protoss player leading the series 1-0. It is PiLiPiLi. It's a nice logo too, isn't it? Very clean.
Genesis Gaming?
Yeah.
It's hard to recreate.
Yeah, I get that. Like the wing on the G. It's clean, but it would be hard to recreate. I like the font, the white and the red.
Ooh, I was just going to say I dislike the font. I know it's supposed to look like an on-off button on your keyboard.
Oh, it does. No, I like it. But you're wrong.
I think it's a bit busy. It's got a little too much going on. Decide what you want, Genesis Gaming. Like think back to Cascade Gaming. They've got an octopus, right? And you're like, oh, it's an octopus.
That's my octopus.
Great. Well, look at this one. There's a wing and there's the on-off buttons, but there's also the GG and the team name in the logo. Like one or the other. You don't.
Yeah,
need
maybe
both,
get rid of the team name if I were to simplify it.
I feel really bad. You know somebody's going to clip this and send it to whoever designed the logo for Genesis Gaming.
No, because I'm on their side. Like we, it's a difference of opinion, a respectful one, but I am right.
Sure.
Okay, what's going on in this game? Have we got any proxies? No, both players have scouted. Once again, we are seeing expands up on the high ground. Neither player has been going for a low ground quick nexus. That's a very European and Korean player way of playing. In North America, you want more units quicker because units do killings.
That's right. If we break StarCraft down into 3 words, Grant, I think it's that units do killings. That sounds about right.
Yeah. The MCanning special there, spraying in your opponent's base.
Great. It's great. Stalker Sentry out for MCanning, double Stalker out for PiLiPiLi. Now, we've seen in previous PvPs over on the EU server, Grant, we've seen a fair few 3 Sentry openings in PvP. Very rare to see that, I think, or slightly more rare than before. I'd be very surprised if MCanning went for that. And yeah, there's Stalker number 2, and I imagine Stalker number 3 right behind it. So going for a little bit more standard here. Stargate already down for PiLiPiLi as he saved the gas by not building that sentry. But I like the Stargate yet again for PiLiPiLi. It seems like a solid play.
Yeah, I don't dislike it by any means. With this late attack option from MCanning, it is much more likely to be the Twilight Council. As long as he gets a battery in his mineral line, he should be safe. He is going to go for that faster Nexus as well. PiLiPiLi has the money for his, and will be throwing that down as we speak. So very little in terms of Nexi timings. Now a little bit of a micro battle here, but MCanning with reinforcements will be able to take this one home. Yeah, so I expect to see... Oh, that is a very late Stargate, MCanning. That surprises me a little bit. It is slightly spicy what he's doing here, because seeing this many Stalkers this early, you probably do think, as PiLiPiLi, that it is a Twilight build. Now, I'm no expert and could be extraordinarily wrong here, but I don't hate it if it's going to be this late, though. I don't think Oracle is the most likely choice. Strange for sure.
Very late to be certain. The bad news is that PiLiPiLi is not really committed to the Stargate either. So even though MCanning can grab a couple Phoenix from this leader Stargate if he so chooses, like we saw last game, he's going to be way behind in tech because PiLiPiLi is only building this singular Oracle here. And in fact, MCanning's going Oracle behind this. I simply don't see this working out too well for MCanning. I think PiLiPiLi is just going to come slightly ahead here, even though his Oracle hasn't done much at all.
Yeah, I mean, when all is said and done, the real big difference right now is that PiLiPiLi has a Twilight Council, whereas MCanning does not. And that's really about it. MCanning has a couple more units. Oh no, that's now evened up as well. So yeah, it's slightly unexplosive to start things off here. And that is a quick Dark Shrine from Mr. PiLiPiLi, and that is not at home, Creighton.
No, it's definitely not. I love this little proxy Dark Shrine. Grant, we saw MCanning. I almost called him McCanning for a minute there.
We saw that'll do.
we saw him going for the Dark Stride last game, and it slowed PiLiPiLi down quite a bit. And I know I'm a very emotional player, Grant. If somebody beats me with a strategy that I think is cheesy, I will very often try to play that strategy like the next chance I get. To be like, God, that was an easy win. Anybody could win with that, and then try desperately. We got to see if MCanning prepares for it. Last game, PiLiPiLi didn't live for very long because he didn't have a robo, didn't have an observer, and didn't have anything to check that DT. This game, the robo's finished up for MCanning. He can crank an observer out right away, and he can get a forge down before too long for those upgrades. Anyway, you know, he's going double Stargate. He probably won't go for forge, but he'll have the observer. He should be just fine.
Yeah, he needs to make the observer pretty soon. He also does have, is it just a 1 Oracle? Yep, so he has the revelation potential. Which means it shouldn't be massively scary. The observer's still not started off here. Forge is also on the way. We have that proxy pylon for a quicker warp in as well. So the first couple of DTs will probably be warped in very, very soon. We have a third going down from PiLiPiLi. No third just yet from MCanning. PiLiPiLi is keeping track of that right now, keeping just the one worker, but it looks like MCanning's going to try and take that as we speak. There we go. Oh, the stasis ward. That's so annoying. That probe is now stasis wars in that position, so you can't just send another one.
Yep.
And you can't kill it, I don't believe. Can you kill your own stasis wars units?
Nope, you cannot.
So. Is he just going to drop another one? No,
yes! What a cheeky boy.
It's just not going to work.
A little bit late. He's going to set it off with the stalkers, and luckily that, of course, means he can drop the Nexus down.
Yeah.
But Grant, we're breaking the action here as the Void Rays beginning up for MCanning 2 at a time. Can I tell you a fun story about MCanning, Grant?
I mean, if I don't know it, I'd be surprised, but yeah.
Well, so one time, I had a friend who went on a date with MCanning very briefly.
What?
And she said that on the date,
yeah,
MCanning ordered 2 different bowls of soup and then mixed them together 1 spoonful at a time.
No, he didn't.
And then
there's a pun
both
here.
bowls mixed together as soup.
Wait. Is this an actual real story?
Grant, are you not reading chat?
No. Is it a copy-paste?
I can't believe I just got you at the MCanning comment.
I thought that was a real story, and honestly, almost believed it. But then I thought, isn't he married? And I was like, well, I mean, if I was dating MCanning, I'd understand that he's a free spirit and needs to be left to his own devices. And if that's polyamory, then I'm all for it, MCanning. Okay, so MCanning lost a lot of workers. He dropped 9, I believe, just to a DT or 2. But now we see a very aggressive push here coming from PiLiPiLi. The Void Ray count is pretty decent, but they are not together right now. Oracle will go down here. But it does look like MCanning is going to be able to hold. He's still down a few workers. He doesn't have any upgrades coming yet. Neither does PiLiPiLi, but MCanning is moving into his wheelhouse. He's getting his favorite units in the world. Disruptors, and I mean, I've seen this man work miracles.
Yeah, we all have. MCanning's well known for his disruptor production. The first one just about to hit the field here. Very exciting. Now he's transferring all these probes down to the third base, perhaps a bit prematurely, as there is still some constant pressure and a contain from PiLiPiLi, but I think it's still the smart move here. MCanning knows he's a little bit behind economically, needs to get that third base out very quickly. So I think MCanning's still in a pretty good spot. PiLiPiLi's still in a good spot. MCanning at least clears his third base.
Yeah, this is going to be relatively safe. My fear right now as an MCanning fanboy and a very biased caster is that there's a whole bunch of charge zealots, and disruptors can be very difficult against charge zealots, blink stalkers. They're difficult to control when the zealots are moving so quickly. You don't want to, of course, hit your own units. We do see that first shot fired off, and it's not going to do anything really. But it is a good zoning tool. This Oracle going down as well means no more revelations, which makes this much scarier as MCanning now holds the high ground. And we were taught a long time ago that means he has the advantage. We do have a push coming in here, a warp in the natural. There is a cannon and a battery here, and a big push coming in right now. And this is what I mean. What does the disruptor do in this situation? We do not have a super battery coming out either. I don't think there's a. I think it could be on cooldown.
Yeah, he used it just a moment ago. That's a dang shame. So no shield battery overcharge available, Grant, for PiLiPiLi at all, or for MCanning at all, which means that PiLiPiLi's going to get on top of this and do a nice bit of damage. Force an evacuation of the third. 7 probes do go down, Grant, and the natural is going to, I think, go down as well.
Go down?
And that's pretty much all PiLiPiLi needs. MCanning trying to defend it 2 fronts at once, but it's simply not enough.
Yeah, Void Rays without that Flux Veins upgrade do move pretty slowly between the bases. They're not able to transfer quick enough to save them both at the same time, and also just generally, he just didn't have the DPS to deal with all the zealots. GG, and PiLiPiLi, maybe surprisingly, takes a quick 2-0 in group